I've got a great study being launched by UC Berkeley. Amid mounting efforts to legalize psychedelic drugs, UC Berkeley research used neuroimaging to observe how psilocybin alters the brain. University's first human study involving a Schedule I substance. While previous research is predominantly focused on the drug's influence on clinical symptoms or human behavior, this study aims to uncover how the brain constructs reality under the influence of psilocybin, a psychoactive compound in mad mushrooms. Healthy participants will ingest psilocybin and then perform simple perceptual tasks. Activity in the part of the brain that processes visual information is recorded using functional MRI. We have this incredible opportunity to characterize the psychedelic experience in real time, while it's happening using modern neuroimaging methods. Michael Silver, director of the UC Berkeley Center for the Science of Psychedelics, study's lead investigator, said in a recent press release, understanding the actions of psychedelics at a neuroscientific level will generate insights into how they're working as medicines, will hopefully help us develop more effective treatments for mental disorders. A growing body of research suggests psilocybin, when administered in controlled conditions with supportive therapy, a promising treatment for psychiatric disorders such as addiction and anxiety. Still, several recent attempts to reintroduce banned drugs into medical practice have hit roadblocks. Earlier this year, SB 1012, still championed by Senator Scott Wiener, gotta love that name, legalized psychedelic-assisted therapy, failed to advance to a full Senate vote. Senate analysis indicated unknown significant ongoing costs, likely ranging in the low millions of dollars, a daunting prospect given our state's current projected $56 billion budget deficit. Last year, Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed a bill to decriminalize the possession and personal use of hallucinogenic drugs, adding the need for more rigorous guidelines to ensure safe use and the need to shore up that $56 billion budget by continuing the drug war. Similarly, this spring, federal health advisors decisively rejected MDMA-aided therapy for post-traumatic stress disorder in a 10-1 vote, citing flawed study data, questionable research practices, and significant drug risks. Despite these setbacks, advocates remain undeterred, pushing for more targeted initiatives. To be clear, I'm not calling for the widespread legalization of psychedelic drugs. Well, I am, but they're not. Rather, I'm championing a targeted medical treatment aimed specifically at aiding veterans and first responders in the recovery, Jones said in a statement. Psychedelics have always seemed like an interesting, extreme case of how the brain can create really fantastical and amazing visual representation, said Sean Noah, a UC Berkeley postdoctoral researcher. I think there's a lot of unexplored potential in using psychedelics as tools to understand how the brain constructs our visual representation of the world, and how the brain is related to consciousness in general. As researchers in the UC Berkeley study enroll volunteers, and begin screening participants, they hope their efforts will solidify the scientific credibility of psilocybin. Recent policy setbacks indicate legislators are not convinced by current evidence, but further clinical trials can help pave the way for more informed policy decisions as advocates continue to push for legalization. The first thing I'd say is, of course, we know that all these politicians are not leaders, followers. It makes sense that they are scared to change the current status quo. I'm really buoyed by this research. I think it's amazing that we're putting more science to this. I'm really excited that UC Berkeley has an entire department dedicated to psychedelics. And most of all, I'm interested to hear what my fellow correspondents and hosts have to add to this. This is Mathieu St. Germain, Immortal Cannabis and Psychedelic Wizard for the High at 9 News on a Friday.
Yeah, shout out to Berkeley.
Right? Man, psychedelics, Matthew. You guys are getting all...
Where do we sign up?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's what I'm saying.
Right? There's not a form to fill out?
I'm sure it is. If you go to, I think it's clinicaltrials.gov, you can usually find information about signing up for clinical trials. You can also go to the UC Berkeley website. And if you Google it in general, there are a ton of clinical trials going on nationwide and that are seeking volunteers. One of the most interesting ones is in England at Oxford or Cambridge. They are giving folks intravenous DMT in order to keep them in the DMT experience for a half an hour to an hour. So in order that these folks may navigate the DMT realms and bring back and see if there is evidence that both these realms that are visited and these entities that are contacted have some sort of stability from person to person, or maybe not just completely subjective. There may be some sort of objective reality that we are contacting when these drugs.
Yeah, you need some GPS. You need GPS to properly navigate them realms. You know what I'm talking about?
I just
DMT
imagine what that'd be
realms.
like, and that's I'm shooketh.
I almost want to fly out to the UK and try this.
Could
Word,
you
bro,
imagine
me
the
too.
aliens talking to Jason?
Yeah, like that's like
Hop across the pond, if you will.
yeah,
Well, happy-
literally hopping across the pond. Man,
And then
that
into
sounds,
another
that sounds.
dimension.
Yeah, I would be down to
I
try
mean, it's
that out.
really cool because I fantasized for so long that we would have, government-funded inner astronauts that would go to these psychedelic spaces and bring this information back.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm most excited about with Neuralink is the hope that we can record the actual
Yeah.
Yes,
output-
that's what I was
output of the
thinking.
visual.
No, but that's
Exactly. We can record the output of the visual cortex.
Slope.
Yeah.
That's a
And
slippery
really
slope,
quickly-
'cause, if the government can hack into that shit and they see what some people are thinking.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish your
I do
thought,
hear
Matthew.
that, but but so this is a bit of a digression, but decades ago I noticed on LSD that the thing that made the floor move and the walls breathe and that made a lot of the visual elements happen was actually an overlay of a fractal. And what a fractal is a visual representation of irrational numbers between the whole numbers.
Yeah.
And each pixel point on a fractal is changing and morphing in color and shape corresponding to how fast that particular equation is moving towards infinity. What this basically means, I think, is that we're seeing a visual overlay of the operating code of the universe. My thought is that if we can hack into the visual cortex and we can actually dump that visual code that we're seeing while we're high on LSD and other psychedelics into a quantum computer, we may actually begin to be able to understand and deconstruct how the space-time universe is created. It could lead to teleportation and the what we really need, which is the Star Trek materializer, or as we call it, the mystery
Beam me up,
burrito
Scotty.
machine. You push a button and you just materialize a burrito by ending world hunger.
Replicator.
Is that how you were jumping all over
The
this morning?
replicator. Thanks, Rico.
Is that how you got to California, Mathieu St. Germain?
Maybe.
Oh, Mathieu St. Germain's
I
like in Back to
can't
the
talk
Future
about
right
the
now. His
superior
time travel
technology.
machine. He's trying to get it fixed.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
Shit.
I see what's happening.
I'm literally just trying to forward human progress in making a burrito machine. We can all just push a button, have our own custom burrito instantly materialize for it. Again, thus ending world hunger.
I like sushi burritos.
Doctors,
Sushi burritos are fire.
you have any thoughts on this? Have you ever worked on a particle processor, Dr. Mark?
They call me the large.
Me or Dr. Mark?
Both you guys, either or.
No, I haven't worked on a particle processor. I usually look at EEG when I look at brain activity. I'm not a big fan of functional MRI, but it's sort of the new tool on the block, so everybody's using it.
Yeah, you get a lot of you can get a lot of good insurance money off of that.
Yeah, I just feel like if you could record the trips that you have and be able to watch them later, I feel like that's when people will really get the benefit of psychedelics, because I feel like a lot of the time, like you think about these things and then you totally forget about them, and they're just a thought that never pops back in again.
Well, I don't know if
You
you've
could
ever
actually have
had
an
a
accurate
whole
description of,
body MRI, but you actually have to go into this tunnel thing.
Yeah,
and
I've
it's
had
quite
that happen.
Claustrophobic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I think the last thing that I want to have when I'm tripping is be in a claustrophobic situation. Right?
That was like,
Yeah.
yeah. I like to be out in wide.
Well, maybe you just think you were going down the wormhole, Dr. Mark.
Sandworm.
Well, I think that there's opportunity to do new developing, nanotechnology or nanobots that can basically do some type of internal MRI as opposed to having to go into some, tube-like structure that is going to make you feel extremely claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Can I have a blankie, a little burrito blankie too? Because that might make it a little more comfortable.
If we're able to do that, Jason, then I think we'd have an actual dictionary definition of nightmare fuel.
I think we would have also too, like a baseline minimum of what defines tripping balls.
Yeah. How many balls are you tripping?
Yeah, exactly.
He quantify the number of balls.
Any thoughts on tripping balls, Elise?
Yeah, we did a lot of that last weekend at Deadco at the
Spheres,
Sphere.
right?
Nice.
Tripping spheres, not tripping balls.
So
Yeah.
It's a
That
spherical
was
miracle.
Sphere and Loathing.
Oh, so I like that sphere and loathing. That's catchy. That's catchy right there. That's pretty good.
And I did hit my Puffco in the Sphere. So take that, acid farts.
A video of it?
Moist acid fart.
I think you
Did you
can
get
get
a
away
video?
with it as long as you don't post it on Instagram.
Exactly.
I posted it, but I didn't tag them. And I wore sunglasses for the facial recognition.
Oh,
They let
boy.
acid farts back in. They freed acid farts.
They did, yeah.
They did.
They did. They freed. They took them off
Freed the fart.
the no entry list.
Which
Free the
goes
fart.
to free the fart. Wow. All right.
So does that mean it gets stinkier in the sphere faster?
It depends on whose
Alright.
nose you're following.
I'm pretty sure during Dead and Co. the Sphere smells lovely.
It's pretty airy in there.
Is there a lot of people smoking
very
weed in there?
airy.
Is there a lot of people smoking weed in the sphere, or not many?
Not a lot, actually. Not happening either. But yeah, it's very airy. It's actually pretty cold. I got fully searched walking in, and she looked right at my Puffco Peak, and she just says, "There's no smoking in there, right?" And I said, "Yep," and then just proceeded to bring it in. And then I only busted it out at set break and another time. But no, security was hassling me the first night more for dancing in the aisle than I saw anyone get hassled for cannabis. So, but other than that, no, it's freaking amazing. Really great. Experience. Highly recommend.
No combustion in a Puffco, right? There's nothing combusting. There is no smoking, right?
You nailed it. That's what I was thinking. I said, technically, I'm not smoking. I'm vaporizing. I'm vaping.
How are they gonna
It's
hate
just not
on
a pen.
Elise? They can't hate on you.
Thank you.
The Hashanista smoking hash in the sphere. Look at that.
At the Dead, I mean, that's my tribe. I got to do what I got to do.
And on that note, Rico, are you ready to get out of here? See what I did there?
Yeah.
That's pretty, yeah.
Very spherical of you.
Very, very spherical.
Thank you all for joining us for yet another episode of High 9 News. You can always catch us weekdays at 9 a.m. Pacific or high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to our super fans showing love, getting their comments posted live on the big screen. Who we have today, Jason?
Oh, man, we got the C word, and that is right. Oh, Ingrid. Yes, Ingrid. Yes,
Got you,
thank you all
girl.
so much.
Didn't Leah Patrick have one?
I think Leah did too.
I think Leah did as well,
Yes.
regarding patient rights.
Yep.
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 Yeah, big ups. Yeah, big ups to
Yeah,
everybody.
big ups. Thank you all for the super chats. It's Wagyu Day, so I'm going to be able to go get some Wagyu.
I'm going to
next
watch you
door
select
at
it
Anna's.
and select your own meat cuts.
That's right.
Very thinly sliced.
Thinly sliced for Wagyu Day, yes.
Yeah.
We're going to turn up on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And definitely let's acknowledge Cash's 16th birthday would have been today. So our cancer kids
100%.
and our cannabis
Yeah.
kids have pushed this movement forward a lot, and I
Yeah.
think we need to hold space for that. And if you guys don't know who he is, please do your research.